Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and okay, I stumbled across this very interesting little post here because of a friend of mine here over on Twitter. It is by Sakura Lim. They tagged me and said, Lynn, this is a deep dive into Zayne's books in his AZ memory. Fascinating after watching his deep dive on YouTube and your reaction video. I love this. So they recommended me to check out this thread going into the books that Zayne was reading in this particular memory that he kind of like knocks onto the floor. So let's go ahead and check out what these books are and see what they say about Zayne, because of course, you know, it is kind of obvious, I guess. The books that you read, sometimes if they're self-help books, if they're historical books, if they're fantasy books or whatnot, things that catch your eye say a lot about a person. So let's find out what these books say about Zayne. So Zayne's books in absolute zeal, what they reveal about him. I got curious about the books he knocks over in the memory. Here's a quick summary of what they're about and what it says about him. Now, I didn't know that these books were actually real books. Okay, so Watch the Clouds by Your Side by Fernando Pessoa. So this one, this book explores love and artistic thought. It includes the education and Stoic, his late life masterpiece. Love letters and essays on sensationalism through his heteronym. Cairo? Pessoa's sensationalism, especially through Cairo, is all about living in the moment, feeling things as they are, and letting go of overthinking. Okay, so that is so cool because of course we know that Zayne is an overthinker, right? He would be an overthinker. I feel like he's more of the introvert overthinker, kind of strategic kind of individual who likes to think things out and not necessarily act on impulse. So Lyra here by Lyra Valoria Zayne, who's always analyzing, planning, controlling, might crave a life where he can just exist, to love, to feel without fear. Him reading this means he's drawn to the poetic idea, to feel is enough, no need to explain. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, that is so sweet. I love that because of, yeah, after watching that video by Cyberspace Maz on YouTube, we know that Zayne is just this person who needs to have constant control in his life, and because he has hurt, you know, MC before with his power, because he can't control his evil, and at any moment he can hurt the MC. And it is just that thought, that the simple thought that he is this man who's just barely holding on to the threads of control, and he's just reading this book about living in the moment and just, you know, being himself, you know. I've never seen Zayne completely 100% relaxed. I feel like in every memory that we've watched with him, he is still fearing the fact that he could hurt MC at any moment, and that is such a beautiful thing that he's into this kind of book. Okay, next book that he knocked over on that table in that passionate moment, La Parure, The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. Now guys, I am so sorry if I butcher the names. This is a story about vanity, societal pressure, and the cost of illusion. Mathilde borrows a necklace, loses it, repairs it for years, only to find out it was fake. Zayne is a master of appearances. Cool, commanding, composed. This book suggests he questions the roles he's forced to play. Is the life he's living truly his? He fears he's lost parts of himself to fulfill expectations and wonders if it was worth it. Oh man, that is an interesting conclusion. to why this book was on his table. Zayne is a master of appearances. Yeah, because he's almost like a swan across a river, right? They look graceful, they look cool, they look composed, but underneath the water, they're struggling to stay afloat. You know, they're paddling like crazy, and you just can't see it because their top half, the part that you can see, is just controlled. And that might be Zayne. So is the life he's living truly his? Or are these roles that he's forced to play? I wonder if he really wanted to go into medicine. Did Zayne personally choose to go into medicine? Was it because of MC? These are questions that might be in his lore that I may have forgotten, to be perfectly honest. There might be I feel like I've stumbled across some speculation that he did medicine because he knew that MC had a weak heart. I think I stumbled something across that in terms of like lore and stuff. If somebody knows, please tell me down below. It's been a long time since I dove into the lore of each individual character, so that is actually why I find Cybermaz's videos and Angel Quarters videos so entertaining, because they're like a complete rehaul and a refresh to my memory in lore, so that's why I'm subscribed to both of them. But that is so interesting. Okay, next book. The Conquest of Happiness by Bertrand Russell, a guide to emotional balance and well-being. Russell believed happiness is something you build with intention, not just luck. Oh, that is so sweet. Zayne is always torn between duty and desire. This book reflects his quiet struggle to find joy, not through power, but through meaning. With softness, with you. Oh, stop. That is so sweet. Okay. Guide to emotional balance and well-being. Well, clearly, Zayne is always uptight. I don't even know if, like, in his own quiet moments with MC not around, does he ever relax by himself, or is he always so uptight? Even with himself, I think he's just probably very like routine oriented, and the only time that he relaxes is with the MC. And it just makes so much sense that he would, I guess, consciously make the decision to own these books, to realize that there is a life worth living, where he can be who he is, where he could be who he wants to be, without feeling like he has to control this crazy evil that he has that can go whack at any moment. That is so scary to think about. And it is so unfortunate that Zayne, who is this, it's almost like contradictory, right? We have all of these other love interests. We have Raphael, Xavier, Silas, and Caleb, who we all see has portrayed this minute control over all of their evils, and yet most of them are pretty laid back in their own ways. But when it comes to Zayne, who is the most uptight individual in terms of the love interest, he has the evil that he cannot control. That is the one thing about himself that he can't control with a fine tune. And it is actually shocking that his evil has never interrupted his surgeries or anything like that. It's almost as if he functions at the hospital without an evil. We have never heard of an instance where he has lost control over there. Maybe it's that rigorous routine that he has. Maybe he just wants to break free from that. That's why he likes being around MC. MC gives him this space to be him, to be more open, to be more loved, to be accepting of feelings and emotions. And it is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. MC is almost like Zayne's ray of sunshine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that is so beautiful to think about like that. Oh man. You know what? I know I complain so much about how back to back the schedule is in terms of like releasing new memories, new myth memories particularly. But I am so excited to find out Zane's new myth memory, because his standard and Master of Fate both really broke me, because Master of Fate was so sad. I was really hoping, this is completely off topic, but I was really hoping for a happy ending in Master of Fate, but it just turned out to be such a sad, lonely ending for MC, and that is something that I really hope changes in the third myth memory coming up, because I want to see a different side of Zayne. You know, I want to see one where he kind of like lives a happy life, for at least a moment there, you know. But that is my little take on all of these books. It is like those details, you know. It's these details in this book. This is why I say that Info does everything with intention. They make these characters with such like dedication, such attention to detail. Their micro expressions, their outfits, their settings that they're in, the way that they move, the way that they talk, everything is planned and everything is thought out, right? Their scripts are thought out. The settings, like even the books that are on the table that you see for just like 2 seconds before Zayne pushes them off the desk. You see them for 2 seconds, and yet they bothered to research books about, you know, certain topics that would fit Zayne's character and clearly label it so that way you can look it up if you wanted to. Whereas they could have just left these books, these side, what do you call them? The spines of the books, they could have just left them completely blank, but they chose not to. They chose to give this extra layer of attention to detail for a Zayne. And just diving into this, just paying attention to these small details and learning more about Zayne like this, it really shows that, you know, Infold has intention when they're creating these memories, the content that they're putting into the game. This is why I feel like whenever they do something intentionally, or whenever they do something that causes strife in the community, it is a decision that the company makes, you know. So it is so interesting to see. There are so many things that has come out of my mouth right now that is completely related to this and unrelated to this. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for sharing this with me and for tagging me. I very, very much appreciate it. So thank you, Sakura. I want to see more of these things. If you guys like follow me on Twitter or whatever, don't be shy to at me on stuff, because I go through my notifications as much as possible, and I like to see things that people have tagged me in if they want me to see it, if it's something that's important, or if it's something like this that they think is really interesting. Go ahead and tag me on Twitter. I'm not so active on Instagram, but I have an Instagram as well, but I'm more active on Twitter. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like. If you thought that these books were interesting, or like the attention to detail that Info has put into the game is fascinating, definitely leave a comment down below. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn, the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye now.